So right now we're looking at an old exam that I gave last semester to students for this class on chapter 1 and 2. And we have completed chapter 1 and 2 and are going to have a test in class on this on Wednesday next week. It's possible that this might take a 2-day test, but we'll see. The one that we're doing right now was over 2 days. The first day was multiple choice, and then the second day was a short answer. So let's go through this. And you guys have been working on this for the last 15-20 minutes. And let's just kind of go through it together. So you've just seen the first 3 problems of the test. But the first problem says the student body at Yuba College is voting for the new food item that should be added to the school's cafe. The choice are turkey club, popcorn shrimp, barbecue ribwich, or a tofu stir fry. And so we're going to denote turkey club with a TC, popcorn shrimp with a PS, barbecue riblet sandwich with a BR, and tofu fry with TS. So the following table gives the following preference for the results of votes. So here are the number of voters on top. And so there's 57 voters that put PS as first choice, TC as second choice, BR as third choice, and TS as fourth choice. And so on. So the first thing that we need to figure out is how many voters there are. So how many voters? Or how many people voted? So again, the top row is telling us how many did that order of preference. So we have 57 for the first column, 34 for the second column, 19 for the third column, 12 for the fourth, and 10 for the fifth. And so I get that there's 132 voters. So they tell us the rules. Suppose that the voting rules are that when there is a food item with a majority of votes, it is the winner. Okay, so we need a majority of votes to be the winner. So let's just figure out what that is. And so the majority of votes that way is over 50%. So over 50% of votes. Well, we need to figure out what that is. And so if we take 132 voters and look at what half of that is, oops. This is equal to 66. So they have to have more than 66 votes. So the quota, like we kind of have said, is they need to have 67 votes or more. So we need Okay, so we want to go through and see if any candidate had more than 67 votes. Candidates are being the food choices. And so we have, again, we have the TC, the Turkey Club. So maybe let's go through and look at Turkey Club first. And so Turkey Club.
Sorry, real quick, why did you divide by 2?
Because it told us in order for it to be a winner or to be up on the new winner or the food item, it had to be a majority. And so it had to be more than 50%.
Okay.
More than half the votes. And so TC, notice for first choice, that's the only one in the order for first choice. 12 people. This had 12 first votes. our number of first votes. And so notice that that is not going to be, that's not 67 or more, right? But let's figure out what percent, because if we read further, it says otherwise the candidates with 20% or less of the first place votes are eliminated. And so I will need to figure out what percent this is. And so if I look at how many votes they had, well, 12 divided by how many people voted, 132. They only got approximately 9% of votes. So let's go through, and then the next person in the list or choice was popcorn shrimp. So we want to go and look at how many people put popcorn shrimp as their first choice. And so if we look at the first choice, the only one in here that has popcorn shrimp is that first column. And notice that was 57 people. So 57 shows this as their first choice. That's what I wanted, first choice, not first votes. And so that is not meeting over 67 or 67 or more, but let's figure out what percent that is, because that definitely is over 20%. So 57 over 132. That gives us approximately 43%. Okay, and then we have the barbecue ribwich. So the BR, whoops, darn it. BR. So going through first choice, BR was only in here once. And this one, there was 34 who chose this as first choice. And so 34 over the 132, that would give us what percent? And so that is approximately 26%. So there's still a candidate. And then one more choice was the tofu stir fry. But notice there's a couple different places where they had first. There were 19 people from this column that put them as first choice, but there was 12, oops, not 12, there was 10 over here. And so we have the 19 plus the 10, and so that is 29 voters. And so 19 all over 132 is equal to approximately 14%. Okay, so it told us that they needed to have a majority to be a winner. None of these had the majority. And so then it told us that we were going to exclude any candidates that was less than or equal to 20%. And so notice there's multiple candidates that are less than 20%. We're going to get rid of TC, the Turkey Club, and we're also going to get rid of tofu stir fry. So we want to take our list and we're going to take those out of our list, and anything that was below it, we're going to just move them up. So I'm going to take our list and I'm going to move down and I'm going to put it in here. And I had already copied it. So hopefully it's still there. Okay, so we said we were getting rid of turkey club and popcorn shrimp. No, we didn't. Turkey club and stir fry. So that tells me that here, that barbecue riblet has just moved up in 2 separate places. And so for the barbecue riblet, looking at first choice, they're now 19 plus the 12. Oops, actually here too, because when we got rid of the tofu stir fry, turkey club was next, but those were also crossed out. So they're up here plus 10. And then they also have here BR, which is plus 34. And so we have 19 plus 12 plus 10 plus 34. Which gives us 75. Okay, so I can subtract that from 134 because that's how many voters we had. I should get 67. I mean 57. Something's wrong. Let me just make sure I put this in right. So at the 34 plus the 19 plus the 12 plus the 10, 75. How many voters did we have? That's why I was wrong. We had 132 voters. So if we did 132 minus 75, we should get what's left, which are the people that did popcorn shrimp. And I do. So I know I counted things right. And so this right here, this is greater than 67. So we know they have the majority now. If we wanted to rewrite this, well, let's move things up and let's first, well, we got to cross out all of the turkey clubs and the tofu. Okay. And so for first choice, we are, what else is left in there? There were what, 75? How do we want to do this? Let me just write it how it is right now. So first choice, we have the 57 and we have the popcorn shrimp. And then second choice, we would have the BR. Here we have 34, we have the BR and then popcorn shrimp. Here we have the 19 and then we have BR, PS, 12, BRPS, and 10 was BRPS. Something's wrong. Otherwise, all candidates with 20% or less of first place votes are eliminated votes are recounted. And they're saying in here that Turkey Club is still in there. And I don't see how they can be putting Turkey Club in there when Turkey Club should have been gone.
I noticed for the TS, you did 19 out of 132. Should it have been 29?
For the Turkey Club, we're,
For the TS, the
to a TS. And I did 29. Oh, but 29. So 29. So that could have been where I went wrong. Shoot. So 29 out of 132. That's 22%. So that's where I went wrong. I should have looked down at the answers before, just noticed that there was 3 things left. So this was TS. Sorry, so down here, we gotta redo this. The only one that we're crossing out. Yeah. Is the Turkey Club. So that gets rid of everything. Okay. So Turkey Club, gone, 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 gone. So everybody moves up. And so here, first, second, third, fourth. So we got PS. Actually, we won't have a fourth. We have BR is next. And then we have TS. So second column, we have BR, PS, TS. Next column, we have TS, BR, PS. And then we have BR, PS, TS. Last one, TS, BR, PS. And so we want to count, make sure they have a 20%. So PS, popcorn shrimp, first place, they only have 57. So they have 57 still out of the 132. The brisket, or not brisket, barbecue riblet, they have 34 plus 12. So 34 plus 12 is 48 out of 132. And then the shrimp, or no, it's not the shrimp, it's the stir fry, is 19 plus 10, which is 29 out of 132. Okay, so 57 over 132, but none of them have, it's a 29 out of 132. That's going to be 21%. Did I do this wrong? 57 plus 48 plus 29. That should add up to, something's wrong. I didn't add right. So what did I not add right?
The BR.
The BR, that's 34 plus 12 is 46. But something's still off. 57, 34. Because this should sum to 132. So 50, let me just check again. 57, 46 plus 29. That's 132. Okay. The other thing is that I guess they're going with this one. No one here falls below 20%. And I have to go back and look at it. So it was. The other thing is, notice that there's some of these that are the same exact column. So notice here that BRPSTS in that order is also here. And then notice also that this column in here is equal to this column in here. So we now are going to have just 3 columns. So we got our first choice. There's 57 again, and this never changed. Popcorn shrimp. Second choice was BR. Third is TS. But if we look at these 2 columns that are the same, that's 34 plus 12, that's 46. So 46 chose BR first, then PS, and then TS. And 29 did it this way. So TS, BR, PS. And so that should be our new table. So 57, 53, 12. Yeah. So some of these you can just exclude, right? You know, Turkey Club is no longer in there, so that can't be A. And it didn't sum up the right as my columns did. B could be a choice. This can't be a choice because Turkey Club's in there, and E, B or E. So 57, 46, 29, 57, 46, 29. Those both work. PSBR, TS. PS. Those both work. Then it's BR, PSB. Oops. Yeah, BR, PSBR. That one doesn't have the BR there. So it would have to be B. Okay. So that one took a little bit longer than a lot of them will or should. So the next question, I'm just going to pull it so it's right in front of me. Okay, so for the following election of the 4 candidates, we have the following preference schedule. And so number of voters for the first column is 6, second column is 3, third column is 5, fourth column is 8. So if we sum all of these together, we have 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 5 is 14, plus 8 is 22. And so if we look at the number of first choice, and this is election we are having for the preference schedule using the plurality method. So looking at the most number of who got the most number of votes. And so D in this case has 9 votes, A has 5 votes, and C has 8 votes. So in this case, D would win. Okay, the next one, let me just pull it from here. The next one basically, and I'm not going to pull this one, but that was said you had 769 voters and there were 6 candidates. So what is the smallest number of voters for the plurality method could have? Well, if there's 6 voters, the voter would have to have the most of any other person to be the winner. And so if there were 769 voters divided by the 6 candidate, 100, that's about 128. So in order for a person to win, they would have to have, and it was split that way, they would have to have at least 129 votes. There's no other way that they can split it up where that somebody could win with less than 129 votes.
So you just pretty much divide and then just go up one?
Yep, exactly. So the next problem says for election with 4 candidates, we have the following preference schedule. How many border points does candidate D earn in this election? Using the border count method, the winner of the election is. Okay. I'm going to just pull this real quick. Come on. Okay. Come on, why won't you go straight? Okay, there we go. Looking at border count. So first choice winners, let's give them 4 points. Second choice is 3. Third choice is 2. And fourth choice only gets 1 point. It just wants for this first question, how many border points does candidate D earn? Okay, so let's go through with D. So for D, the first column, they were in last place, and that's only worth 1 point. But 20 people told them or voted for them for last choice there in that column. So plus, so look at where they are in the second column. Second column, this column ranked them third choice. So there's 14 people that ranked them third choice. So there's 14 times how many points third place is worth, which in our case is worth 2. Plus, so the next column, D, was ranked first choice. And 8 people ranked them first choice. And so it's 4 points to be in first place. So 8 times 4. So the fourth column, D was ranked in second choice. Second choice, there were 7 people, so plus 7 times how many points second place is worth, which is 3. And then the last column, D in here, they were first choice, but there was only 2 people. So 2 times fourth place or first place is worth 4 points. So the border count for D is 20 plus 14 times 2 is 28 plus 8 times 4 is 32 plus 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2 times 4 is 8. So I got 48, 50, 80, 101, 109 points. And it is one of my choices, so my guess is I did my math okay. And I want to go back and check right now. Okay, so this is for D. And we need to figure out who is the winner. And so we need to go through and calculate the other ones. So for A, so we want to do the same thing, but for A. So A, we have 20 people first choice. So that would be 20 times 4. Plus second column A is fourth choice. There's 14 people times 1 point. Third column, 8 people, third choice. So that's only worth 2 points. Fourth column, 7 people, last place, only 1 point. And the last column, 2 people, second place, that's 3 points. So this gives us 80 plus 14 plus 16 plus 7 plus 3. Let me just see if I can do this. 14 plus 16, that's 30. 30 plus 10 right here, that's 40. That's 120 points. So go through, do that for B. So another way we can kind of group it here, notice that B is chosen for second place for all of these. And so let's look at how many people did it. So that was 20 plus 14, that's 34. 34 plus 8 is 52. No, is 42. So that's 42 people. So 42 people, and second place, that's worth 3 points. And then notice down here, the next 2 columns, he was ranked in third place, and that was 7 plus 2 people. That was 9 people, so plus 9, all times 2 points. So 42 times 3 plus 9 times 2. So 126 plus 18. Which gives us 144. Last, do C. Maybe let's just do kind of what we did before. Notice that C is in first place, 14 plus 7. So that's 21 times that CE got first place. 21 times, and that's worth 4 points. C never got second choice. 4. Third choice, there was only, there was 20 people, and that's worth 2 points. And then C, fourth choice, that was 8 plus 2. There's 10 people that chose it for fourth place, which is only worth 1 point. So we have what? 4 times 21 is 84, plus 20 times 2 is 40, plus 10. So 50 plus 84 is 134. So by the board account method, B is the winner. Okay, so I'm just grabbing some more. So pairwise comparison, that's where you had to go through and you had to pair each candidate with every other candidate and see if they would be the winner of that pairwise comparison or not. Okay, so you got to go through. We got to look at pairwise of A versus B. And so let's look at who is the winner on each column, A or B. So if we get the first column, notice that A is the winner there. They get 15 votes. If I look at the second column though, B is ahead of A. And so they got 11 votes. And then the third column, if I look at the column who ranks before the other, B is before A, so they get 9 votes. The fourth column, B is before A, so they get 6 votes. And the last column, B is before A, and they got 2 votes. So it looks like out of all those, that B got the majority. He is the winner of that pairwise comparison. They got 28 votes, where A got 15. So now we want to look at A versus C. So you're going to go through and you're going to do the same thing. So maybe let's just circle where A is the winner. So A wins here. C is winning here, so I'm not going to circle it. C is winning there, C is winning here, and C is winning there. Okay, so they only have 15 and they have the same amount as B did, which was 28. And so C is the winner in this case. So same thing with A versus D. Well, notice A is always at the end. So we can just reason again. Well, and A is always the winner in that one. So we got 15 versus 28, so D is the winner. Okay, so we've done every pairwise comparison that we could do of A versus all the other candidates. Now we got to do B versus the other candidates. Well, we already did B versus A here, so we don't have to do that again. And then now we need to see B versus C. Let me see. So B versus C. So B is the winner here. C here, C, B, C. Okay, so the number of times that B is the winner over C is going to be 15 plus 6. So there's 21 times. And then C is the winner over B. 11 plus 9 is 20 plus 2, so 22 times. So C is the winner of that pairwise comparison between B and C, and then B and D. Well, B versus D, B wins in the first column, B wins in the second column, D wins in the third, B wins in the fourth, and D wins in the last. So B wins 15 plus 11 is 26 plus 6, so that's 32 times. And D only won 9 plus 2, 11 times. So B wins versus D. So one more comparison, and that is C versus D. So C wins first column, C wins second column, C wins third column. Actually, no, it doesn't. D does. D wins again, and C wins the last column. Okay, so they won 15 plus 11 is 26 plus 2, 28 votes. Versus D, which had 9 plus 6, which is 15. So C won. Okay, so out of all of these, A pairwise has 0. B pairwise won 1, 2. C pairwise won 1, 2, 3. And D pairwise only won 1. So by pairwise comparison, C is the winner. How many pairwise comparisons did B have? We found that it was 2. Okay, let's see. Wrong test. Okay. Actually, let's not do that because I think some of this is just terminology. So the next one says, if choice X is a winner of an election and one or more of the other candidates is removed and the ballot is recounted, then X should still be the winner of the election. This fairness criterion is the following. So I did not study up and I would have to review that. So that was 1.6, and let's just kind of And a good page for you guys to look at in your book is good, that just has the key concepts for each of these sections. And basically it tells us in the book on page 28, but basically you want to look at pages 27 and 28. Those are the key concepts of chapter 1. And pages 58 and 59. So key concepts of chapter 2. And so knowing that, so fairness criteria and Arrow's impossibility theorem. So there was a famous economics person, I don't remember, I apologize, I don't remember his name, but he came up with this fairness criteria. And so fairness criteria, basic rules that define formal requirements for fairness. A fair voting method is expected to always satisfy these basic rules. Okay, so we have the following criterions. Majority criterion, a fairness criterion that says that if a candidate receives a majority of the first place votes, then that candidate should be the winner. So that wasn't it. Condorcet criterion. So the fairness criterion that says that if there is a Condorcet candidate, then that candidate should be the winner of the election. And then the monotonicity criteria, a fairness criteria that says that a candidate who would otherwise win an election should not lose the election merely because a voter changed their ballot in the manner to favor that candidate. Independence or irrelevant alternative criterion, a criterion that says that a candidate who would otherwise win an election should not lose the election because one of the losing candidates withdraws from the race. Isn't that what it was just saying? Someone withdrawing from the race? Removed and recounted. So that would be that independence criterion. And then Arrow's impossibility theorem says a theorem that proves that it is mathematically impossible for a voting method to satisfy all the fairness criterion. So down here, Arrow's impossibility theorem replies that every voting method can potentially violate, each one of the 4 fairness criteria. That in every election, no matter what voting method we use, at least one of the 4 fairness criterions are violated. It's mathematically impossible for a voting method to satisfy all 3 fairness criteria. That looks right. That it's impossible to have a voting method that satisfies all 4 of the fairness criteria. That's what I just read. That in every election, each of the voting methods must produce a different winner. No. So let's see. So an election is held among 6 candidates, and A gets the plurality of the first place votes, but C wins the election. Which of the following methods could have been the method used to decide the election? Well, plurality with elimination. They got plurality here. It's border count, method of pairwise. It could have been all of these. In a weighting voting system, Q, our quota. We have voters weight 12, 10, 5, 1, and 1. The largest possible value that the quota Q can take is Well, if we sum these, we have 12 plus 10 is 22, plus 5 is 27, plus 1 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Okay, it wouldn't make sense to have 30. We could have a quota that's 29, and that would mean that the only way that this would pass would it be if every voting member was in favor of it. So it's possible that that is a criteria. And so it's possible that the maximum, and usually it's not though, could be 29. Okay. So in the weighting voting system 13, 12, 7, and 2. Does every voter have veto power? Player 1 has veto power, but is not a dictator. No player has veto power. Piece of 1 is a dictator, or none of these. Seeing if this is in here. So that was our other section. Okay, so dictator, player who weight is bigger or equal to the quota. So looking at that, that does not happen. 12 is not bigger. Our quota is 13 in here. So no one is a dictator. So to have veto power, the power to keep the remaining players from passing a motion. So without player 1, these 2 players cannot pass a motion. So that would be a dictator, or veto power, I mean. And so player 1 has veto power, but is not a dictator. So it'd be B. So these are already posted up there. So you can go through and look at this and study it over the weekend.
What do you have it under, like, to where we can access it?
Yeah, let me show you right now with the video still on. So you're going to go to your Canvas page. So it's taking a second. And then see resources. And so right now, old tests and reviews to use to study. It should be in here. So math voting, so this is what I have up right now. So I have the part 1 and the part 2 in here.
Okay, so it's under modules.
Yeah, I don't think you can get to modules because it's, see how that I has a thing through it.
Oh,
So you
okay.
have to get through it by clicking on the resources, the tests. And then that will bring you actually to the module page, I think. I mean, I should view this as a student. Just curious. It's not showing up.
It doesn't let me into the thing. It says it's
Okay.
been disabled for the course.
Okay, that's good to know. I was just going to go in as student view to see what happened. This page has been disabled. Okay. Let me reorganize that. But you should, I'll play with it. But you should, just like I said, be able to just click on that and get to it. Okay, update. Okay, so the first test is going to be next week, Wednesday. Make sure you have a webcam, and I'll review stuff on Monday.
Is there a way to test Proctorio on your webcam? I know, like, I go to the thing and it says like it's installed on my computer, but I want to make sure that it.
Yeah, it's working. So I am just basically gonna proctor. So you
Oh,
guys
okay.
will be on with your webcam. So you can practice just turning on your webcam now and see it making
Easy,
sure it works.
easy. I can get a webcam by then and make sure that that's good.
Yeah, and so if for some reason you guys don't have a webcam, so what some people had done or students had done was they used their phone. So they logged in on their phone and had
Oh,
their video going on that, and then also had their computer up so that they could just get the questions off of that. So
awesome.
that's a possibility. But and then the other thing is the Yuba College Library. They have webcams that you guys can check out for the whole semester. So that's another option too. I have office hours now if you guys have any questions. If you don't have questions, you're free to go because class is technically over now.
Have a good day.
Bye, Renee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, Catherine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
I wanted to just talk with you, but I can wait until, if anybody else needs to.
Okay.
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
You just finished saying it, but I wanted to double check. So I can have the Zoom on my phone because I don't have a webcam for my computer. But then are the questions, they're not the review questions that you just told us about, right? Like like am I going to be on Zoom like on both devices? Like can I do that? Is that pretty much how it's going to be?
Yeah. So what you'll do is you'll log in on your computer like you did, and then also log in on your phone. The computer, that way, I don't know if you have a printer, but if you have a printer, then you can print it off and then come back. So I know that some students will walk away for a few minutes because they're printing off the test. Some people don't have printers, which is okay. You could just have a sheet of paper there with a computer open and writing down the problems or showing your work on a sheet of paper.
Okay, gotcha. But so I would pretty much, after I get the questions, I would only have to be on one device. I can't have the computer on and my phone.
You can have them both on.
Okay, I was about to say, because I feel like that'd be easier for me if I just, because it's like already there and I don't have to write it in my handwriting. So it'd be easier if I just had my camera on my phone next to my computer screen and then looking at it that way, if that was okay with you. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, that's fine with me. And if you want to next week, just try it out on Tuesday or Monday, that you can log in on both with no problem. So you're not just troubleshooting, making sure it doesn't happen on Wednesday, because that just would be stressful.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know what I did.
When
I was trying to show myself, and then I clicked the wrong thing, and now I don't. Right. Okay, it's unmuted. Can you see me?
Nope. So
Okay.
did you stop it where the mute and unmute is on the bottom of the
Mhm.
screen?
Oh, start video.
Yeah.
It says it's unable to detect a camera, but I mean, it shows it any other time. I don't know what the heck I clicked. I was trying to unmute it and then show myself. Okay, exit. Do I go to gallery view?
Yeah.
Oh, show self view.
Pablo, do you have any questions? So my guess is maybe he stepped away. Oops.
Okay, can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I found